Welcome back, ladies and gents. Today we are going to be covering Ondo Finance, and it's for a good reason. Actually, what this crypto project is doing is very much the future of finance. And of course, just the other day, they partnered with Ripple to onboard their short-dated treasuries onto the XRP ledger. And this is very much the future of finance. It's Larry Fink himself that, of course, have said this.
As a huge believer of crypto and blockchain and tokenization, I want the SEC to rapidly approve the tokenization of bonds and stocks. Crypto is going to play a big role. Digitization of currency, digitization of everything we're doing. I'm a big believer, and this is one thing that will change Bloomberg even. I believe we're going to be in the cutting edge of tokenizing bonds and stocks. Coming. And we have the technology now. The fact that we are now moving forward in tokenization, every bond and stock, is crazy. Yeah. We should be moving towards that frontier. Obviously, there's winners and losers and all that, but we need to be prepared for the tokenization. And it would democratize more finance if we tokenized bonds and stocks.
If you go over to Ondo's Twitter or their X account, you will see that actually they've reposted a number of clips of Larry Fink saying this and kind of related it to themselves and what they're doing. And actually, fundamentally, this is a very interesting project. We know this is the direction that finance is moving towards. And Ondo really have a lot of skin in the game. Of course, they're backed by Coinbase. What we will do once we've looked at a clip that was from the NASDAQ just a few hours ago is we'll actually take a look at some of the speakers that are speaking at the sort of Ondo Summit. And it's pretty impressive. Some of the largest financial institutions in the world, including BlackRock, their kind of chief investment ETF individual. And then what we're going to do is finish things off with a little bit of price action. So this is absolutely a video not to miss. Let's kick things off by talking about the future of finance. I'm going to dive over to a clip from the NASDAQ.
For a lot of viewers who are kind of new to crypto and don't really know what to think about stablecoins, don't really know what to think about wrapped assets like wrapped treasuries, stablecoins are great because they help keep value on chain where it needs to be. Wrapped treasuries and RWA items that are used for collateral, great. They allow people to keep things on chain, just to keep everything away from the fiat world. That's critically important. They say, well, how does that affect me? I don't know what to buy after Bitcoin. All of those things have to settle on a blockchain. They're not their own blockchains. They might settle on Ethereum or another blockchain, but they're going to need one. So when everyday investors are thinking, how can they expand their crypto knowledge outside of Bitcoin? Think of all the things that we're talking about. Most of them are going to have to settle, be executed and cleared onto a blockchain. Which blockchain those are going to be among the winners. So just a little bit to spread the knowledge. We're trying to get people past Bitcoin, which basically just moves from one address to another, into the future of finance. And all of the stuff that we're talking about here is going to have to participate.
Talking about winners in the cryptocurrency space, it's going to be the blockchains that actually do that. And Ondo is doing that. Certainly, we've seen a lot of interest in regards to Ondo and BlackRock. And also, they are already tokenizing treasuries. And I think the fact that Ripple partnered with them is quite telling, because Ripple is an institutional kind of grade distributed ledger, ultimately focused on the transferal of value beyond just fiat. And of course, Ondo Finance is positioning itself as institutional grade finance on chain for everyone. It's founded by the likes of Coinbase, the biggest sort of player within the cryptocurrency space. And they have a summit coming up, the Ondo Summit. Just look at some of the speakers, guys. Wisdom Tree. We've got Pantera Capital. Obviously, they were posting some of what Larry Fink had to say and relating it to themselves. We've got Fidelity, their head of digital assets. And we've also got David Schwartz. We've also got the likes of Patrick McHenry, the likes of the CFTC's acting chair, and BlackRock's chief investment officer of ETFs and index investments. Now, remember, Larry Fink believes the new world we're moving towards is on chain. He's a believer in crypto. And I very much think that that's the case. And this is interesting. They tweeted here, tokenized US treasuries are becoming a new foundation money layer on chain by combining ease of payments with a built-in saving function, being obviously the yield. US treasuries, tokenized US treasuries offer the best futures of stable coins with the steady active yield of US treasuries. The category grew by 500% in 2024 as liquidity deepens around leading products. This will enable the emergence and growth of new financial products and innovation. And we've spoke about how actually the US is going to use and utilize stablecoins and ultimately back those stablecoins up with treasuries. And Ondo seems to be in a very good spot. So let's talk about Ondo from a price point of view. It is a newer crypto. So in terms of history, we don't have a lot to go on. It really came about, this cycle. It hasn't been about that long. Whether it's been worked on pre or not is still to be seen. But since it had this run, I ultimately think this has just set up a bull flag. And I'll give you where I think Ondo's going in the more shorter term. It broke out of this, came back for a bit of a retest. It wasn't quite a perfect retest before then seeing continuation. So this could be a bit of a bull flag. And then we're seeing a nice little double bottom here that you, of course, broke out of. And then we're seeing another bull flag form. We'll drop down the time frames and we'll be able to give you a price prediction on the back end of all of this, ladies and gentlemen. So if we maybe drop down the time frames, we go to a daily and we look at this bull flag. We're going to keep it on log because it's a slightly bigger time frame. We're going to copy this. We'll be able to give you our prediction in regards to where we believe Ondo is going, and that's just shy of the $4 range. So I think you've got a $4 Ondo on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen, which is a significant sort of return from where it currently is today. And actually the interesting thing as well is with this bull flag is it actually gives us confluence in regards to where the price of Ondo perhaps is going. If we take this low, you can see these targets very much align, giving us confluence to, or giving us confluence and reasoning to Ondo starting to march towards that $4 sort of mark. Today it currently sits at $1.53. It's recently broke out and out of this bull flag. I ultimately think it's on that broader trajectory, and it's very well positioned as we've just shown you at the start of the video. In terms of market cap, it currently sits at $4.8 billion. So for it to double, it's 10 billion, 15 billion. I think that's more than achievable for a crypto project that has the kind of players that it does involved in it, the kind of project that is solving such a broad use case. And certainly at this point, we do have technical merit and confluence in regards to Ondo marching towards that $4 mark. So this is a project to pay attention to, just like the individual said there from the NASDAQ. The real winners, or some of the winners and partakers in the new financial system, are ultimately going to be the ones that solve the kind of issues that we currently have with our financial system. The debt markets are a big issue. The tokenization of them and the enabling of that is ultimately going to be done on some of these distributed ledgers, and Ondo Finance very much positioning themselves as that. We know they're already tokenizing the likes of BlackRock's fund, and also there's going to be multiple tokenized winners, by the way, and they're also working with a kind of leading institutional payments provider to enable this new form of money, which is sort of debt essentially that's now being liquefied. And I think that gives them this kind of very interesting prospect. On top of that, technically, when we take a look at Ondo, we're giving you that sort of $4 price prediction. That's based on a bull flag that you've just broken out of. I want to go back to the bull flag because not only did you break out of it, you actually came back for a beautiful retest. So if we dive back in here, you can see not only did you break out of this bull flag, volume very much alive. You see the big volume on the bull flag or the flagpole, a decrease in volume on the pullback, and then volume reassertion. Confirming the breakout, you can see a real sort of consolidation here. You broke out of this, you retested it, and now you've got that continuation, and we believe this is going to take to around about $4. That's not our ultimate all-time high we think Ondo can get to. That's just where we see it going. And I think actually you might see that coming over the sort of Ondo summit, certainly with some of the speakers and some of the news that's going to be generated on the back end of that. So let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, on Ondo. Is it a project you're paying attention to? Is it a project you want us to cover more? Of course, we'll keep you up to date from a price point of view now that we've given this price prediction and the technical patterns that we see giving it technical merit to get there. And of course, fundamentally, we'll be watching this project. Again, it's very well positioned. Ultimately, this bull market, I think, is set to do rather well. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. See you all in the next one.